Yeah, welcome back to the next lecture. So where we'll be talking about the scaffolding process, I guess. So part of the scaffolding process is getting an understanding of what our clients' needs are, um, and getting an understanding of what tables we'll probably need for the functionality they want. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Um, so the my the friend of a friend of mine wanted an application developed, and I thought that it would be a nice kind of experiment to try out WizWeb. Um, and yeah, they've got this kind of business idea where they want to make something somewhat similar to, I can't remember what it's called. But basically, what it needs to do is it's a peer-to-peer selling platform, and in this context, specifically to sell secondhand sports clothes and equipment, I think. Yeah, so that's it. So I gave it some thought, and these are basically the main tables that I'm going to need to add. Obviously, we've already got the user table. So we're going to need a product table. Now, these products will have orders, but the order, it's going to be a one-to-one with product. So we might as well just store the order information in the product as well. So because it's a peer-to-peer thing, users will upload or list an item, and it's not like this is one of many of the products that they have in stock. It's just like this is the item that I have in stock. It's just one. So that's why it's one-to-one with orders. Then we're going to have different kind of taxonomical tables that help classify what kind of product it is. We're going to have brands. So product is a one-to-many with brands. One brand contain many things. Next, we have genders. So I think it's going to be like male, female, unisex, I guess. Then styles. Um, so obviously styles is specifically to do with like clothing. Maybe it actually doesn't fit into this context. So I was thinking like styles is more for like maybe a fashion kind of website. But obviously if it's sports clothes, obviously the style is sporty. So I don't think actually styles is necessary. Then the next thing is categories. So categories will be things like what type of product is it? Is it a shirt? Is it pants? Whatever, that kind of thing. Cool. So I think that's going to be it. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to scaffolding, um, we obviously I'm using Laravel. Now Laravel uses migrations. Migrations are basically just table definitions that gives us a little bit of like version control over the schema. So and enables deployment, streamlining deployment and all that. Anyway, so I'm going to be basically um, making those migrations. Now, migrations in WizWeb are key to the entire platform and foundational. So basically what I do is I make my migrations, generate the tables. Then from the tables, I create what I call scaffolding, or I scaffold then a bunch of files from that. So from the tables, there's now commands that I've built in the WizWeb backend that you run them and it generates a bunch of files that you can use, which will be backend models and controllers and routes, um, and then also front end models and controllers and routes and views. Now, obviously, like having MVC on the front end is like, wow, what's that about? Yeah, so uh, the whole approach in order to list data, which is obviously one of the main abilities that you have on any web platform, you need to kind of have an understanding of what kind of data you're listing. So that's why I have models on the front end, is just so that there's a single source of truth of what is this data type all about? Um, so yeah, and then I also have controllers and views. The reason I have uh, both controllers are basically just like pages. So like page components essentially, but I just call them controllers. And then views, when I use the word view, it's actually more in line with the kind of concept you have in MVVM, which is MVVM means model, view, view model. So that's a view, and a view model. So a view model is basically just saying, oh, you see this table in the model? Obviously, the model is more like this is the exact definition of the model. Well, a view model is saying, well, you see this model? This is basically how we normally present this model. Um, so obviously, you might show that data in two different places, but you want to display it in the same way. So who helps with setting the standard for how that type of data should be displayed? It's the view model. So the view model, yeah, is like a component as well. Anyway, so there you go. So that's all stuff that gets generated and inferred directly from the tables in the database. So that's why I say the migrations that generate the tables are obviously central to everything. Um, and what else? I think we can go ahead and generate them now. Um, oh yeah, one last thing was just basically that we obviously generating these files and components and stuff, but obviously we can edit them where needed to fine tune things. Anyway, I think that's enough said. So um, now, obviously, I like streamlining things, and writing these models myself would be a bit slow. So I'm going to get ChatGPT in and to help us with that. So please welcome ChatGPT. I'm going to explain it a little bit to it, what's going on and what we're trying to do. I'm using the paid ChatGPT. Okay. And I'm going to use voice recognition. Hey, ChatGPT, I'm making a course here. So you can say hi to the students if you want. I just want to explain to you the project that I'm doing in this lecture and course. It's basically, I call it Reloved. It's about selling reloved sports clothes and equipment. And I just want to tell you a little bit about the tables because I want you to help me create the migrations one at a time there. So we're going to get our products in. Our products table is also going to need to store like the same thing as the order information because the reason it's a one-to-one so that we can basically just have it as one table which we are going to just have one table. It's just going to be the products table, but we're also going to store the order information. The reason we can do it in the same thing is because it's a peer-to-peer selling thing. So the vendors don't have stock of an item; they just have the one item. Cool. Next up, we're going to have brands. So this is taxonomical information for the product. Similarly, with is genders because products can sometimes be specifically geared towards a specific gender. Next up, we're going to have categories. That's going to be more to do with like saying what kind of item is this? Is this a t-shirt? Is this pants? All of that kind of stuff. So, oh yes, one more thing. The products um, table is also going to have an image attributes, please, which is going to be a string, I believe. I think that's it. Unless I'm missing something. I think that's it. Cool. So before you continue, just give me a very brief outline of your understanding. Keep it to like one short sentence per table. So you know what's going on. So, sorry, can you repeat that?
Just said, hello, how can I assist you today?
Oh, sorry, guys. I'm going to repeat those instructions to it. I'm going to repeat those instructions, but I'm just going to pause because you guys have already heard it. I want you to just say one sentence, so it's one short sentence per table.
Hi students, excited to join you on this project journey. Here's a quick summary. Products table. Stores product and order details since each product is tied to a single order. Brands table. Holds taxonomical information about product brands. Genders table categorizes products by gender relevance, e.g. men, women, unisex. Categories table defines product types like t-shirts, pants, etc. Let me know when you're ready to dive into the first migration.
Oh, sorry, one more thing. The products table must have a string attribute called image. Um, and I think we are good to go. I think the image must also be nullable, by the way. Okay, cool. Well, let's go for it. First migration.
Got it. Let's start with the products table migration. Here's how it could look. You can see the code in our conversation history.
Open it up. Okay, so this is what I got for the product. I think that looks fine. So yeah, I'd recommend following a similar workflow to that because, I mean, why not? It's very quick. I normally get ChatGPT to write a lot of code for me. It does all the menial work basically. ChatGPT. I don't use Copilot, just ChatGPT. This, for some reason, generating the first migration takes time to, well, generate it, and it's more specifically to actually display it. So even like with the reloading and stuff, like just we'll see how it goes. Yes, and then reload from this. See, reload from this. All right, okay, that's good. Okay, so I'm just gonna commit it with its default code. Copy this. Also, this just has up. Okay, so so because it just gave us up, just pasting the up on. Yeah. Wait, that's actually weird. It should actually be giving us the uh, constraints as well. Constrained. Why does it say constrained? Yeah, I'm actually not too good at this. Um, I mean, constrained might work in this context to actually create the constraint against the brand table, but no, normally it has the constraints separately. Um, so I'm not sure if this is working properly. Also, to have those constraints, I'm pretty sure that we have to generate those tables first. To have valid constraints, going to generate tables first, which case, um, let's respondents and start with brands. So commit it as it is. Then I'm going to copy that up. So it's just got a name which is unique. Do that. Before we commit that, next. I think this lecture will just be part one of scaffolding because scaffolding is a multi-step process. Step one, obviously, being generating migrations. Or, yeah, not generating, but making the migrations. Genders, it's fine. Copy that in. So what I normally like to do is uh, I'll like to, if I'm doing multiple migrations, I'd like to commit the new one, just default, and the previous one with its changes. So I'm going to do that now. A couple of times doing that. So obviously these changes are not in, and then I'm going to bring the next one. So got changes and got and constrained. So I'm guessing, and I could be wrong, but when we have constrained here with this foreign ID and it says brand ID, I'm assuming it guesses what the table's name is based on this. So it says, oh, it starts with brand, so it's going to be brands table. Uh, I'm pretty sure ChatGPT would have my back there. Might be wrong. But yeah, I mean, I would suggest doing a bit more research on migrations yourself. It's not a huge topic. It's a very useful topic, but it's not like tons to learn. Mhm. Cool. I mean, we can run migrations now. I think actually let's do that. So let's have a look at our database. So these are the tables in our database. Now we can do PHP artisan. Great. I'm actually getting a feeling that we're going to change these to increments. Okay. Before I continue, I'm actually changing all of these to increments. I'm not totally sure why I need to do it this way, but this is just the way I'm doing it. I do it. Foreign ID. I don't actually like the way it's. Yeah, let's see if this works with it written like this. This is obviously a very compact way of writing it. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to get it written more verbosely. So if this works, then it'll be good. If it doesn't work. Ask it to write this more verbosely. Please write this more verbosely. constraints separate from yeah, and then I'm going to change it from a big int to an int. That's the error that's happening. I mean, I could have just not messed with the increments there and just left it as ID and it could have worked, but I don't know. Maybe this is my mistake. Cool. So we do already have some of these tables here. So refresh. And the products is corrupted, so I'll delete that. I mean, the products migration is corrupted. Actually, no. So then run migrate. That's done. Okay. So refresh. So now we've got all these additional things, products, genders, brands, categories. All right. I think we're good though. And you can join me in the next lecture when we're going to continue scaffolding. We're going to be generating all our key files based on the tables that now are in the database. Okay. Just trying to figure out how to exit this as easy as possible.